Joining us now, the former chair of the House Foreign Affairs Middle East Subcommittee, Ted Deutch. He's currently the CEO of the American Jewish Committee. Thanks so much, Ted, for joining us. Let's just start simply with, of course, the headline here. The 20 remaining living hostages now out of Gaza, back in Israel. Your thoughts on what is obviously an overwhelmingly emotional day?
Well, this is a day that we have been looking forward to. We, the people of Israel, the Jewish community all around the world, all peoples around the world who understand how outrageous it is that Hamas terrorists held hostage for over 2 years, all of these hostages. And we've been waiting for this, and today was the day. And the reunion videos, the signs that they seem to be doing okay, that there is a way forward for them and their families, the embraces, the smiles. It was such a moving day, such a powerful day, and such a reminder of what Israel has endured for the past 2 years since October 7th. This is hopefully the start of a continued series of steps toward more peace in the region. It starts with Hamas being out of power, out of Gaza, without arms. And the hope is, and certainly this was the spirit all throughout Israel today, across Israel where the hostages came home and in the Knesset where President Trump spoke, it's this sense that there is a better future ahead. That's what today represented. It was so powerful and unbelievably emotional.
Yeah, and of course, scenes of jubilation in Gaza as well. Some prisoners returned there. Also, of course, now we're a few days into this ceasefire, bringing some much-needed peace to that enclave devastated by 2 years of war. So, Ted, we're looking here, live images in Egypt right now. We're still some time away before the peace summit there begins. Do you have hopes that this time could be different? Do you believe that what we've seen over these last few days and the work that will be done later today in Egypt and in the weeks ahead could lead to a more permanent peace to the region?
I believe that there are more steps toward peace coming in the near term. Look, the president today repeated during his speech his call for peace. He acknowledged what happened in this war. Hamas intended in this war with Iran's support to spark a war throughout the region that would destroy Israel, that would massacre more Jews. They wanted to prevent more peace. And now we're at a moment where the world came together in support of peace. And with this 20-point plan, and again, we're not even fully through the first phase. There were 20 hostages who came home to their families. All 48, including the remains of the rest, were to be released today as well. And we have to continue to fight to bring them home. But there are lots of steps to come. And with the president's continued focus on this, and with the countries who have signed on to this peace plan, including so many countries from across the Arab world and the Muslim world who are waiting for the president's arrival in Egypt to continue this conversation, yes, there are more countries who will realize that it makes more sense to be on the side of a democracy with a thriving economy, with the people who are committed to peace, than it does to continue to oppose the very state that has provided so much to the Middle East already, and that's Israel, with the thought of how much more it could provide to the region and the world when it fully is integrated into the Middle East.
So, Ted, let's if you don't mind, put your hat back on as a former congressman.
Sure.
And this is certainly the situation in Gaza after October 7th became such a lightning rod politically here in the United States. We've seen the Democratic Party, many members there very angry, declaring what happened in Gaza a genocide. In fact, former Vice President Harris said as much to our colleague Eugene Daniels over the weekend here on MSNBC. We also have some on the right also showing real concern about U.S. involvement with Israel. There's a lot of different cross currents here. We're at as you just said, at the very beginning of what still will be a lengthy and potentially fractious process. How do you think the events in the Middle East are going to be received at home here with, a year to the midterms?
Well, I think it should be clear to everyone that peace is a winning issue. if you're asking me to think what it was like when I was a member of Congress, I think everyone can agree that achieving peace is something that everyone should support. At this point, the only people who are marching in the streets are not marching in support of peace. They're marching calling for more war, more Hamas attacks, more terrorism. I think that's frankly what elected officials need to understand and acknowledge. It was very powerful today. I'm sure this didn't get a lot of attention back in the States, but when the opposition leader, Yair Lapid, spoke in the Knesset today, he spoke very much to these issues and pointed out how dangerous it is to advance the charge of genocide, an outrageous charge by any account that really just reflects the Hamas talking points that they've utilized throughout the war. He pointed out how important it is for everyone to stand together against terrorism. There is now an opportunity to do that. My hope is that Democrats and Republicans alike will recognize that while the Abraham Accords have been incredibly positive and productive for the region, that the opportunity ahead to bring more countries to the table of peace, to expand that peace throughout the region that will benefit everyone, that's what they should recognize. If they get on board, it's not only good for what happens here in Israel and in the region, it will be good for them as well.
CEO of the American Jewish Committee, Ted Deutch. Ted, thank you very much for joining us this morning.